Also, one last thing that makes me stop drinking alcohol is I'm Asian and I'm Taiwanese. We all know that consuming extra alcohol is a bad thing, and a lot of people love to have a drink every now and then. Maybe it's some beers while they are watching the NBA, or some nice cocktail at a bar or at the restaurant. And for some people, this is literally part of their life, getting tipsy at the Friday night or at the weekend. And for some others, they might at some point of their life heard that moderate drinking, like a glass of wine every single day, is actually good for their cardiovascular health. But is it really though? With more and more research and info we have on alcohol, the answer on how bad drinking alcohol actually is might be worse than you think. So what happens inside your body when you consume alcohol? First of all, when alcohol gets inside your body, it needs an enzyme called ADH or alcohol dehydrogenase to turn it into acetaldehyde, which is a toxic carcinogen, and then it's furthermore being broken down to acetate, which is less toxic by ALDH or aldehyde dehydrogenase. Again, it's being furthermore broken down to water and carbon dioxide. And speaking of enzyme, if you are the type of person that your face will turn red every time you drink alcohol, that doesn't mean your body is processing alcohol efficiently. It's actually the complete opposite. That means you have ALDH deficiency, so you cannot break down the alcohol efficiently. So the toxic ingredient is more likely to stack up in your body and increase the chance you get cancer or other health problems. Although acetaldehyde usually exists in your body for a short period of time, but it still has a potential to cause damage to your body, especially the liver where the majority of the alcohol metabolism takes place. And according to CDC, the potential risks after excessively drinking alcohol, which 1 in 6 US adults do, include accidental injuries, violent behavior, alcohol poisoning, high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, liver disease, digestive problems, cancer, weaker immune systems, learning and memory problems, mental health problems, and finally you might develop alcohol dependence. On top of that, according to IARC, which stands for International Agency for Research on Cancer, alcohol is being classified as carcinogens to humans. So if you are drinking alcohol, that somehow means you are actively increasing your chance getting cancer or other health problems, which does not sound very right to me. And at this point, I feel like the whole reason why tobacco and alcohol industry still exists, it's just they are way too big and way too profit is involved to put any ban or restriction on it. But what actually keeps me drinking alcohol? I have to admit I'm not the biggest drinker at all. I just casually drink at the weekends with my families, with my friend, or by myself. And the funny thing is, if you're asking me, do I really love drinking alcohol? The answer will probably be no. I really hate people after getting a few drinks. They start to get really noisy and talk really loud, and some people will force others to drink, and some others will just act like they are totally uneducated. But the point is, the problem is never about drinking alcohol, it's the society culture and the social pressure. See, when we are little kids, our parents told us that the alcohol is for adults, so you have to wait until you are 18 so you can drink. And they never told us that alcohol is a bad thing. They told us that the reason why you cannot drink alcohol is because your brain is still developing, which is true, but some parts of your brain is still developing at mid-20s, like your prefrontal cortex. And slowly, I think in our society, drinking alcohol literally becomes a certification that tells you you are an adult at this point, which looking back to me is really a bad idea, because why would you poison yourself once you hit 18? And another problem is, I don't know why once you hit your 20s, every dinner or night out will have a chance linked to drinking at a bar, or the default setting of a night out already means drinking at somewhere. And yes, you can still hang out with your friends without drinking alcohol, but let's be real here. Number one, we all have that one terrible friend who keeps asking you if you want a drink. Number two, I don't want to pay the price of a cocktail for a terrible coffee or tea, or sometimes even worse, a can of Coca-Cola that I need to pay 5 times the price. And number three, if you don't drink, you somehow lose the chance to hang out with people or get to know more about your friends, which is not the best thing in your student time. And number four, I think I personally have terrible friends. That's just personal opinion. But what really makes me stop drinking alcohol at all? First of all, it has to be my health issue associated with alcohol. Since I started to work out and focusing on my diet more, The idea of drinking less alcohol is constantly in my head because alcohol actually slows down your muscle protein synthesis and it's just actually wasting my space of my everyday calorie intake. And I remember there's one time I didn't drink alcohol for quite a while, and then I had a few sips on those Japanese plum wine. Number one, I think all I can taste is alcohol, like pure alcohol. And number two, I think after a short period of time, my head started to really hurt. It was not the drink's fault because we all had it at the same time. Also, I tried the same thing before, it was actually really good. So later on, after a few more tries on the alcoholic drinks, I kind of realized two things. Number one, I become really easy to get drunk after taking a break from the alcohol, even though I was never a serious drinker. Number two, I actually just don't like alcohol at all. You might ask me, then why did I drink before? Well, flavor-wise, those are really good drinks. And after I tried some non-alcoholic beers and mocktails, I'm pretty sure that the thing I love is the flavor and not the alcohol inside. Also, one last thing that makes me stop drinking alcohol is I'm Asian and I'm Taiwanese. What? Remember earlier in the video we talked about how our body processes alcohol to acetaldehyde, which is a toxic carcinogen, and then is furthermore being broken down to acetate, which is less toxic than acetate. Well, around 30 to 50% of the East Asian people has ALDH deficiency, and according to a research, around 45 to 47% of the Taiwanese people has ALDH deficiency, which is highest in the world, and yep, I'm one of them. It's pretty funny because I never know that alcohol flush is a bad thing until I started to do more research and understand how alcohol do to our body, which is not so long ago. I think we all think, or at least in my family, it's just some people has alcohol flush and some people don't, and that's pretty much it, nothing good or bad about it. Or sometimes even worse, they think that our body is processing alcohol, which is a good thing. Totally wrong. And combining all the things we just mentioned, and plus the fact that I just had a random conversation with my friend about drinking alcohol, and she told me that she don't drink at all and still have a decent friends and great social life, and that was the one last push that made me decided to stop drinking alcohol at all. After quit drinking alcohol at all, I realized that my social life is more likely the same. Yes, I did lose some chance to get to know more about some new friends, and yes, I did become unfamiliar with some old friends because all they want is hang out at the bar. And yes, I did lose some chance to hang out with girls at the bar alone, which is not the best thing. But I do think that if I force myself to show up at those places, at some point of the future, we still have to say goodbye to each other because we just don't share the same values. Also, I do feel like I can comfortably hang out with the friends that are still close with me. They won't force me to drink and I won't have any pressures on drinking. And yes, I do become that rare person that don't drink, don't smoke, and exercise regularly. Overall, I think quitting alcohol at all is such a great decision. I said goodbye to some old friends that I don't really want to hang out with, save more money on the expensive drinks. I lower my chance to get cancer and other health problems, have a better body, and I will definitely keep doing this. And that's about it, guys. Feel free to leave a comment down below. If you want to see my other videos, I'll put a link right here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.